Good afternoon. This is MemphisWeather.net meteorologist Erik Proseus. It's shortly before 2 o'clock on Friday afternoon, June 19th, and we are watching what is the remnants of former Tropical Storm Bill. It is still classified as a tropical depression, even this late after a couple of days after landfall. It's gone through Texas and Oklahoma, turned east, and went across northern Arkansas, southern Missouri, and we're looking right now at a radar loop from Memphis, the Memphis area, and you can see there's still a pretty good spin up in the radar echoes up here in across the southeastern Missouri, northeastern Arkansas border region, and that's where the center of Tropical Depression Bill is. Showers up around the center, but you see some tropical bands, or feeder bands is what you would call them if they were closer to the ocean, I guess. But we still have these bands of thunderstorms that have formed. A couple of those moved through the Memphis metro earlier today and brought some pretty torrential downpours briefly as they move through. They're moving off to the northeast, and if we zoom in a little bit closer to the metro, you can see a couple of these bands are well off to the east of the area now, but additional bands will be firing up. There's actually some sunshine peeking through between these, and that's helping to feed the instability that's in the region. Very high moisture content in the atmosphere because this is a tropical system, and so any of these showers that form are going to have some heavy downpours in them. I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple more little narrow lines. It looks like they're starting to form now. Move through the metro during the next 3 to 4 hours or so and bring brief heavy rain as it moves through. So that is the forecast for the next couple of hours this afternoon. Continuing to see gusty winds out of the southwest as that low pressure circulates counterclockwise to our northwest. The winds coming up out of the southwest, and we're getting gusts up around 20 to 25 miles an hour pretty consistently. Steady winds in the 15 to 20 mile an hour range. And some of these showers or storms as they move through could have some fairly gusty winds within them as well. I want to switch over to look at the satellite view, give you a little bit bigger picture from outer space here of what the system looks like, and still a really well-defined counterclockwise circulation here in the remnants of Bill, and as it moves east across the Missouri-Arkansas border region, moving towards the Missouri Boot Heel, and that's going to continue to the northeast or east-northeast up into Kentucky over the next 12 hours or so. These bands are showing up out ahead of the circulation fairly well. Also, you can see the gaps between them where there's some gaps in the cloud cover and some sunshine coming through, but still looks fairly tropical, even though the only water around this area is the Mississippi River, but it seems to still be feeding on that former moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico. If we look at the Storm Prediction Center outlook for the rest of today, we are in a marginal risk of severe weather. I am not really expecting to see any warnings out of this, but marginal risk for the possibility of an isolated wind gust that could approach severe criteria. So possible that some of these showers could get gusts up to the 40 to 50 mile an hour range, but I think most of them are going to be confined to the 30 mile an hour range or so. Can't rule out the possibility of a little pulse storm in one of these feeder bands, putting down some pretty good wind gusts, but just a marginal risk, or the lowest category, category 1 out of 5 for severe weather. I want to take a look at what the high-res model data shows for the rest of this afternoon. If you have plans the rest of the afternoon or into the evening hours, this is kind of what it's showing for the current time. So this is about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Has the showers in northeast Arkansas, some of these feeder bands rotating through. Now, it's not going to have a perfect handle on exactly the placement of those bands, but it is going to show us the general concept here. Some of those bands coming through, and I'll fast forward this through to that's about 4 o'clock right there. Seems to show the back edge of some of these bands kind of moving through, so we could still see a few heavy downpours by around 4 o'clock as we head towards the rush hour. As we get towards 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock, a lot of that is going to start to lose some of its punch. As it moves off to the east, the sun starts to go down, and so I think a lot of that is going to be moving off to our east. The heavier showers should be about done by 6 o'clock if this model verifies, and we think it's got a pretty good handle on the situation. Still some scattered showers around the area, maybe leading into the evening, but even past that, this is 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. You see it pretty much all washes out. All of the showers are pretty much gone. Again, can't rule out an isolated shower after 7 or 8 o'clock this evening, but we think most of the activity is going to be about done as we head towards the after sunset tonight. So if you do have plans outside tonight, especially early in the evening, plan to take your umbrella with you. Could see some quick downpours and still some wind gusts definitely around the area, but as we head later into the evening, the wind will start to die off. The gusts will die off as well. We'll see sustained winds around 10 to 15 miles an hour or so during and throughout the evening and into the overnight hours, but those gusts will also start to diminish. What comes in behind this? Unfortunately, if not necessarily good news unless you're a fan of just sitting by the pool for the next week, and maybe that's not so bad either. This is the mid-levels of the atmosphere for late this afternoon, early this evening. We're looking up at around 18,000 feet, which is the 500 millibar level for those of you weather nerds out there that like things in millibars and Z time. It's 0Z this evening at 500 millibars, and it shows the upper level low right over southeastern Missouri. This is what's left of Bill as it moves east across the area. You'll see that there's a very large high pressure dome over southwestern portion of the United States, another pretty good high pressure dome over the southeast. We're kind of squinched in between those right now, but you'll see as we go through time here, and I'm going to go out to through the weekend, and this is taking us into Sunday evening now, 48 hours from now, and you see this high pressure starting to build over the area. The red colors are starting to fill in where Bill was. That means that we are going to be getting more of this high pressure building in. It's going to become stronger, and even as we go into next week, here's that brighter color red where the high pressure was over the southwest building all the way across the southern United States. It's going to lead to a pretty tranquil week for the southern U.S. going into next week, but this ridge of high pressure, as broad as it is also very hot, and they're really, because it's going to be such a high pressure system, there's going to be very little chance for any afternoon thunderstorms to fire up, and this continues all the way through next week. It looks like finally starts to weaken a little bit as we head towards the end of next week. This is Friday morning right here, so it looks like the ridge is weakening slightly. We could start to see a little bit more pop-up shower and thunderstorm activity by late next week. But most of the next week is going to be very hot and very humid as well, and we're going to be looking at heat indices up near the danger category of 105. So here's the forecast for the next 6 days, our social media 6-day forecast. For today, we're looking for an afternoon high around 88. We're pretty close to that now. Shower passes by, and that'll drop down several degrees. The sun comes back out, and it'll warm right back up. 50-50 chance of rain for the rest of the afternoon and into the very early evening hours. The winds still continue to blow out of the southwest. As we head into the overnight hours tonight, we'll see some mostly cloudy skies, but the wind will start to die down, rain chances go away, and as we head into tomorrow, those clouds will break out. We'll see partly cloudy skies by afternoon, the high up to 92 degrees with an overnight low tonight of 74. Heat index tomorrow will be up around 100 with the humidity still in the pretty high range behind this tropical system as it leaves some of that moisture behind. Now as we go into Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you see the high temperatures back into the mid-90s. Overnight lows are going to start to get warmer as well, upper 70s by middle of next week, so really very little relief overnight. The heat indices up around 105 during that period. And I've got 96 and 97 as the high temperatures. I would not completely rule out the possibility that those go up another degree or two as we head towards next week and we get a little better handle on how strong this ridge is going to be. But it definitely looks like we are headed for the danger category as far as the heat index is concerned. Keep that in mind as you head into next week. Check out our heat safety tips on the MWN blog. You'll find those at blog.MemphisWeather.net. And of course, the latest forecast, all the information you need via the mobile apps, Android and iOS, as well as on our mobile forecast page, m.MemphisWeather.net. Everybody enjoy your weekend. Take care on the heat and humidity, and we'll have a good start to next week. From MemphisWeather.net, I'm meteorologist Erik Proseus.